Hi, I'm Dan from MakeMusic, and I'm here with clinician Peggy Rakas, who's just going to take a few minutes, talk about some of her experiences, some tips, and share some ideas with us. So, to start out, when teaching, what place do you think improvisation and composition have in just like a traditional ensemble classroom?
Well, I am a huge believer in improvisation from day one. And composition, I actually didn't have as much experience with composition, but I had a lot of experience with improv.
Mhm.
And take your beginners as they know do, re, and mi, and just have them make up their own little melody on do, re, mi. And the reason I feel so strongly is because I am a professional musician, and I know professional musicians who simply can't play by ear. They can't improvise. I can play by ear, but I was never taught to improvise as a young student, and I still struggle. And so I feel very strongly that every instrument should be allowed to improvise. I was a flute, and that's one reason I didn't get opportunities. So in my early jazz bands, everybody got to come in, and we started improvising with a concert B-flat blues scale over a 12-bar blues. I would have everybody play at the same time, so there was absolutely no pressure. It just sounded like the worst New Orleans band that you ever heard. And my kids learned how to improvise, and I just really encourage every single one of you in every ensemble, just have them all play at the same time. You don't have to take the time, but they'll be able to play.
Great, yeah. Sounds like fun. Lots of noise and
It's lots of noise. And those kids, their ears will wake up and they'll learn.
great. So burnout, self-care, it's really important, especially in the past year or two. What tips do you have for any teachers who might just have some difficulty making themselves take a break?
Well, I wish very strongly that people had encouraged me as an educator to take care of myself. And I just encourage every single one of you to realize that we are in the hospitality profession. We serve people. And if our vessel is not full, we have nothing to serve. We cannot serve from an empty vessel. And I know a lot of times I served from an empty vessel. I was very good. But if I had to go back, I would remind myself to go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night. Make sure that I got a full night's sleep. Maybe not do so many rehearsals at night, which is a problem for music teachers because we're always out at night. And then we show up and we look at 100 little fourth grade faces and we're tired. So I wish if I had to do it over again that I would have prioritized self-care. Just a little hint to do it is there's a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. And it talks about the power of if you want to install a habit, just start really small. He says start with a 2-minute increment. So what I would encourage all teachers is come up with one little habit that you think would make a really big difference in your life. And take that habit and find the smallest way that you can put it into your life every single day. For me, it was doing one push-up a day. And I did one push-up a day, and then it's funny, just like with practicing, you get your instrument out and you keep going. You know, if you start that little habit, whatever it might be, going to sleep a little earlier, hiding your phone at night, one little habit, and then do it every day and prioritize your self-care.
That's a really great tip. Moving more towards our classrooms and how we can make them the best spaces for our children and our students. What are some simple ways we can make our classrooms more inviting, more inclusive for all of our students?
Well, a real simple way is to have your kids help you decorate your room. And I was very big on putting a joke outside of my room every day, and the kids would be all excited. And one idea that I saw someone do is they had a bulletin board full of music jokes and invited the kids to bring music jokes. And then, of course, you'd have to look them over to make sure they're appropriate music jokes, and then put them up. And then each kid owned a little part of that bulletin board. So like a real simple way to do it is, number one, start with a joke. They say, if your mind is happier, you're 31% more successful. So make those kids happier when they walk into your room. And encourage them but one little aside is, I used to have my kids tell a joke before they started. And I didn't always screen the jokes. Well, thank goodness one day I screened the joke, and this poor little 5th grade boy had the filthiest joke.
No.
He had no idea that it was so filthy. So So definitely screen your jokes, but I like the idea of having a printed meme and put that up in your room.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk with us today.
Thank you so much, Dan.